What is up, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? Welcome to On the Beach with Pete, the hobby along, paint along series that you put on in the background whilst you do your hobby and get stuff done. Together we accomplish things, hobby related and so on. And I yap about nonsense, life, the universe, everything else in between. Sometimes even some hobby stuff. Who knows? Who knows? Tell you about my life, tell you about my ups, my downs. What I'm excited about, what I'm not excited about, and yeah, let's get yourself sorted. Cup of tea, coffee, whatever. I don't know anything at the moment because it's late. It's my bedtime really, but I've got to get these videos done. I just wanna do them. So we get some paint on models and get stuff done. So let's crack on. Let's get down to the bench and see what we got. Okay, I'm gonna try this with this distance. So I'm looking at my Rohan riders. I'm looking to paint another section of their helmets, and that'll give me a nice update for tomorrow, possibly later today, I don't know. So let me just pop my hobby knife to one side. I don't need that anymore. Going to just give this a bit of a shake. I'm using Spartan Bronze by Two Thin Coats, Duncan Roads Painting Academy, because, well, you know, why not? Give it a nice big shake here. And then pop a bit onto my working palette here. Now, I know I should be using a wet palette. I really should. But at the moment it's so gunked up, needs cleaning out. I haven't got it available for me right now, so do excuse me. And yeah, we'll see if I can make do with something else. I've got to use different glasses because I broke my last pair, unfortunately. Now. Oops, I think that might be a bit on the thick side. We need to. So then, start with life. Now, I attended my mother's funeral yesterday. Wasn't an easy experience by a long shot. It's left me with some very strange feelings of late. Not bad. A little bit sad maybe. But mostly just remembering things. It has left me incredibly tired, I will say. The whole process. You guys know it's been coming for a while. She had dementia. Still, she was 92, so not a bad age. She did quite well, considering. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if I lived to be that age, I'd be shocked. But you know, I'll be glad if I can make it without being rendered too, let's say, like mentally disabled or whatever. That'd be nice, as long as I've got my faculties and know what I'm doing. That'd be awesome. Right, so don't know what to do about their shields. So obviously wood on one side or what have you, but I think I'll this is a darker metallic, so I'm going to use this to do the majority. Any raised bits I will do in a different colour. I can possibly do those white. So I do want my Rohan riders to, look fairly good. Who doesn't, right? I.e., it's not something I want to really rush. It's always like rush on to the next project. You notice that? So let's get these cracked out. I'll start off all guns blazing, and you slow down and think, oh, it's getting finished now. And you feel like cutting corners and things and that. And I don't want to do that with these. Not at all. These will go in my Battle of Pelennor Fields in the actual box that the original sprues came in. Once they're done, I will highlight them. Sorry, highlight them. I will seal them. So I don't know what I'm talking about at the moment. Forgive me, it's the whole funeral thing from yesterday. So yeah, I attended a funeral. I mean, nobody likes funerals, right? But I mean, I don't like the social aspect of it. I'm not very good in social situations. I panic, and I can suffer with social anxiety. A lot of people don't get that. They just don't understand it. For those of you that do, I mean, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just not good with people. On a good day, I'm not brilliant with people. But I must have something that people relate to, or something they kind of get. Sorry, I'm going quiet. I'm just concentrating a little bit here on this guy. You see his helmet here? He's got like a visor thing that you can pull over. And whilst that's cool, it's not easy. Right. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm watching these days. I'm watching a series called Whitechapel. I've just finished season 3. They only made 4 seasons of it, unfortunately, and then they pulled the plug like they do. But apparently, it was so well written. So I'd heard, so I had to see for myself, and I have to agree. Yes, it is bloody well written. Such a shame when like the ITV and that do this. They pull the plug on a season. It's a shame because you start getting invested in characters. You start to see character arcs. All sorts of good things. Right. Again, I'll do his shield the same manner. Spartan Bronze. That's quite a good name for it, actually. I know how to do the raised bits white, or most likely an off-white. Then put some white highlights on it. That might look good, mightn't it? I mean, not award-winning, but that's like quite half decent, I think. As soon as you get 2 or more highlights on a model, I think you're halfway to looking decent. At least that's my view, anyway. I have done the odd model where I've done like dozens and dozens of highlights, and I admit it looks fantastic. But wow, it takes forever. But anyway, going back to Whitechapel, it's got a kind of slight horror edge to it, sort of slightly gothic, bit gritty. It's pretty cool. My wife says it's about as creepy as she can stand, because she doesn't really like creepy stuff. I'll just move this camera around slightly here. Yeah, she doesn't really like creepy stuff, so she gets creeped out quite easily. Just thinking, didn't do the last guy's bit that goes around the saddle he sits on, so I've got to do that. Right there, done. And we'll do that first on this dude. Yeah. So it was my week off finally over, which is a shame. Back to work next week. Not looking forward to that. Just thing is, when you're so I've been off work for 3 weeks now, in total. And the thing is, when you're off work with that length of time, and where I work, a lot of stuff changes. Go back to new procedures and this, it's like really wow. They like to change things. Yeah, he's right as a Rohan. Cool. The main guy in Whitechapel, the detective, detective inspector, he's very OCD about stuff. So it's also about him coping with his lifestyle as well. He can never make connections with people, or the ones he does, they end up dying in like the same episode. So he's like, he's never going to find a partner. Which is a shame in many respects. He's very awkward socially as well. And I get that. Totally get that. Yeah. He's got some sort of arm shield thing on there. I think we'll keep them brown, I think. Yeah. That. Right, next one. They're posed quite weird, like they're standing, but they're actually meant to be sitting. Quite astride the horse, you know. So that's this will be part of my next daily update, which is cool. I do like to do the updates for you. The phone doesn't seem to like focus in when I do the updates though. When I do shorts, I don't know why. It just doesn't. So you don't see it ideally. But yeah, whatever. Because I am intending on doing a couple of different metallics. I think actually I'm also going to do their leg guards in this Spartan bronze. I'll do the ones around the wrists and that as leather, because I think that would be more likely. But I think I'll do the ones around the legs, the shins, Spartan bronze. I do have weapon bronze, but it's a bit brighter. I think that's a bit too bright. So I'll leave that. There. That's looking alright. I think I'll do weapon bronze on there, or true copper, or red copper. Oh, I want to do red copper on the the pommels and things. Yeah, I think I'd like to do that. Right, so I'm just doing the leg guards. Here a minute. Yeah, that's not bad. Now that means I've got to go back over the other guys and do their leg guards. Honestly, I mean, I know the Rohirrim, they wouldn't want to have too much weight bearing down on the horses. I know that. But I've also got to bear in mind that, it's a fantasy game, and, this isn't, no matter how historical it feels, it isn't. Okay. Yeah. I'll highlight their leg guards with something like weapon bronze. So they've got edges on them. There we go. There. That's that one. And the last one that I started out of the 4. Yeah, we'll do his leg guards in Spartan bronze too. Why not? I love this. I've got plans for my town guards for my D&D game. I'm going to be using my Roman soldiers for that. I've got 4 of them already built. I just want to... I've got another couple of sprues which I can build up for them. I think Romans will make excellent town guards. I've also got a sprue of werewolves coming from Atlantic Games. Now it's going to be interesting because I want to build and paint them, of course. But I also want to see what they are like quality-wise, because they also do town guards. That's that done right. Onwards. So obviously I can't have every single city using the same Roman guards that I come across in my campaigns. So, I'll have dwarven guards, I'll have human guards. I might even have halfling ones, who knows? Nice. Okay, so what else has been happening then? Well, not a lot. I think Dylan has sensed that something's been off lately. not necessarily like bad, but he's sensed. I would say, if I had to put my best guess, I would say he sensed my anxiety over the whole funeral thing. He's very sort of empathic, is Dylan. What you feel, he seems to feel. If you're stressed on the walk about another dog, he gets stressed too. Honest. If you're not stressed, he doesn't seem to get stressed. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, just don't stress about it then. Don't stress about anything. That's easier said. When you're on a walk and you see a dog that he's reacted to in the past, thinking, oh, here we go. You get ready. But if you're genuinely not stressed about it, neither's he. So it's just getting that, mindset. Right. Just gonna get these few done. My aim is to get all my Rohan riders to the same stage by the end of this session. And as we're at 25 minutes, the clock is ticking, but it's not impossible, I don't think. Oh, one thing I did notice yesterday at the funeral is how old certain family members are looking. When you don't see people for a long time and then you see them after a while, blimey, you've aged. I'm sure they say the same about me, but oh, damn. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I've done this one, this will mark half of them done. And this is fantastic, this here. Oh yeah. I want to start, I'll call them tutorials, some tutorials, but they're not going to be really tutorials. I just want to film my painting process on certain models, maybe with a bit of a voiceover, speed it up a bit, so I'm sure you don't want to sit and watch me do the whole model. Get to certain stages like you do in a tutorial, but not have that tutorial edge to it. Right, this is sort of, this is literally, it's going to be my take on how I paint, and for good or for better or worse, you'll see the results. Did I make a mistake there? Oh well, I've learned from that, and then other people can learn from that too. I'm quite ahead on these paint along videos now, so by the time you see this, I would have long been back at work and counting down to my next holiday. I believe we got one end of August, which I'm looking forward to. Right, let's not forget the helmet. Like the main bit here. He's got a visor too. Some of them have visors, some of them don't. Some of them have edging, some of them don't. And that's okay. Yeah, like it. Nice one, dude. Okay, so there's my 6. Start the next 6. We can do this. We can do this. So once these are painted, once I've painted all my like stuff for Lord of the Rings tabletop battle, I've just given myself another reason not to delay doing the battle scenarios, because I mean I'll be able to play through any battle scenario really. I do obsess a little bit about the magazines. I like to try and get brand new and sealed. Sorry, brand new and sealed, not unsealed, sealed. But they're hard to come by, you know. It's easy enough to pick up the magazines, but sealed, you know, you're collecting. There's 91 issues in what they produced with a company called D'Agostini back in the day, renowned for not stocking in the shops after a while, so you had to sort of sign up and subscribe. I was never a fan of that option or that way of doing business, so I cut my nose off to spite my face with them, and I just stopped buying them. I didn't have that many, but I thought, no, I'm not getting into it. You know, the internet wasn't really a thing back then, not like it is now. Right, no visor, interesting. Very interesting. Right, okay. Thank you, all these bits and bobs are done. Alright, so whew. Just wash my brush out a minute. Turn that up. That's King Theoden there that you can see. King Theoden on foot. And whatever I do to him, I've got to do the same to the mounted version. Yeah, yeah, so interesting. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. I mean, I can break this up at some point and do something on like the dude here, my Mordor troll. You know, why not? Do the helmet or the shield or the body armor or something. And I might do that. Because sometimes you need a break from doing the same, don't you? But we're okay. Back to it. So today was payday for me, or midnight last night. So it's cool. We can eat meals again. Yay! You know, other than like toast and stuff, pizza, frozen pizza, toast, cheapest stuff you can get. Proper meals now. Yeah, support my Patreon if you can. Help me eat. Help me eat a good square meal. Get the violins out in a minute. Right. Yeah, so detective series then. I was talking about Whitechapel. Whenever I watch a detective series that I really enjoy, I always, you know, on Netflix click the I love this rating so that it will recommend like series programs to me on there, because I really enjoy detective stuff, crime, murder, mystery, all that. I'm just a big fan of it. It's funny, and this series started out with the copycat of the Ripper murders, so it was really cool. Really cool. I enjoyed it immensely. Sorry, I was just doing a bit of concentration there. Still concentrating. We're getting that. I'm intrigued to see how the new Rohirrim will compare to these guys when I get round to them. Yeah, very intrigued. Right, I think that's him. Yeah, didn't enjoy him. What have we got here? Another visor. Visors are good on soldiers because they cover the eyes. I hate painting eyes. Not because of the difficulty, and I'm not saying they're not difficult, because they are very difficult. But they look too big on models, and it just looks cartoonish, I think, when you put eyes in. Because at this distance, at this scale, on real life people, you wouldn't see their eyes, you just wouldn't. I think trying to emulate that is crazy on 28mm and under. I just think that's nuts. My own personal opinion. Okay, that's him there. No, it isn't. Got his shield. His shield. Probably the biggest section. How can you forget that? Oh, it's carnival season approaching. It'll be carnival next month. I think it's next month. Yeah. So it soon comes around, and as I recall, carnival is here. It can be a pretty it can be rainy and cold, or at least rainy. The first carnival we were here, that was fantastic. Weather-wise, it was dry. It was great. Too much for Dylan, of course. And I think it's, to be honest, I think too much for any dog. Too many crowds and noises, I think. That's my opinion. I've got 3 left. 38 minutes, that's good. We're doing really well here. Ah, this is the archer I repaired. His arrow, his bow was snapped in half, and I didn't have the other half, so I made it out of plastic putty. I'm pleased with the result. I think it looks pretty snazzy. It's good enough for me anyway on the table, so fool me, I'd be hard picked to pick it out. There's a couple of areas here I want you to go in and clean up. I think I used Dwarven iron for it. So I'll go in and clean up with that. I'm so glad I decided to do the shields whilst I was here. Because this would have been a pain to have to do separately. It really would. I mean, I could have painted the shields separately before gluing them onto the models. I know some people do that sort of thing. I'm not a fan of it, but I have to admit it would have made things easier. Yeah, I've got to be honest, it would. Give us that one. But hey ho. Oh, I noticed the light's gone now. It's getting quite dark. Don't know what the time is, but it's probably about 9 o'clock or something like that. 9 or 10. Maybe. Only one more to do after this, and then it's King Theoden himself, which I might use a different colour for, to be honest. King, so I know. Brighter colour seems in order for him, wouldn't you say? Yeah. So we're nearly there. Nearly there. I can't believe it's taken, spending a whole session just painting metallics. It's crazy. That's how it goes. These videos are ideally designed for batch painting. But you know that. I mean, they can be useful for like character painting or something of that ilk, like a sergeant or a captain or I don't know, some hero or something. There. Last one of the main Rohan. Did do his shield, didn't I? Yes. Sorry, I had to look over there. Alright, let's do his helmet first. He's got a bit of a visor thing there. Right, shield next. Mostly just the outside of this particular one. So if I have to go back in and work out what colour this is, it's Spartan Bronze, okay? There. That's them. Right. I'm just going to look at my Romans here. I think I could do with some Spartan Bronze on them, to be truthful. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more water. to this mix. Spartan bronze, get on. Yeah, because I don't want to run out anytime soon. I need to sort my wet palette out. I could really do with it, especially in this hot weather we've been having. One of the reasons I haven't is because I don't get that much time to hobby anyway, so it's like it doesn't seem much point, but I guess there is a point, isn't there? Okay, I've been learning a few things lately with painting, trying different things out, you know, on the off chance and that. Mostly been learning about washes and things. That's not looking too bad. Probably need another coat, but that is looking pretty good. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. This Roman's shield. These have got round shields. I know a lot of Romans, or there was an era of Romans that had squarer ones, but they were still curved. They kind of interlocked together. I think I might have some of those on a sprue somewhere. Yeah, I think they make great town guards. I think they'd just be fantastic. I'm going to do the helmets all in this colour. No, I probably should have done their skin first. Old school inside out, you know. But that's alright. Quite a bit of flesh to do on there because I've got like a lot of bare arms and things and legs, so it'll be good to do some flesh work. I haven't done flesh for a while and I quite enjoy doing flesh tones. I've got to remember these are base colours, so not to get too het up on it. Right, first Roman. With that stage done, about 50 minutes. I think this is I think this is perfectly doable. I really do. I haven't done anything on these Romans for a while, so this feels good to move on a bit. Rohans and Romans. Yeah. I think that's what I'll call this video if I remember. Rohans and Romans. Tomorrow we'll be going on to the beach, both with Dylan in the morning and hopefully later in the day. We're going to try out our new body boards. Got some body boards. A couple of body boards that I want to try out, see if they're helpful for any sort of hydrotherapy exercises that I could do. They're basically like giant floats, aren't they, really? But yeah. Yeah, so since I decided to use these Romans as town guards, I thought, well, it doesn't matter on whether I get them accurate anymore. I just paint them how I want to. That's been fantastic. Yeah. That's the second one. I'll do the helmet first on this one. Nice. So yeah, I don't need like a whole army of town guard, and that depends how the story goes, I guess, in the campaign. I have been involved in role-playing game D&D where it gets to the point of we could really be doing with wargaming rules now because it's got so big. And so we did. We kind of switched to a war game. Like we got involved in a war. I can't remember how it was done. I think our old DM, I don't know whether he used some wargaming rules. Knowing him, he probably found some somewhere. Or adapted them and, did his own. But it wasn't conventional role-playing melee, apart from when we got like challenges and duels and things, that kind of thing. So it was a little bit like Warhammer in that respect, but we did it. Remember the old challenges in Warhammer? There we go, that's the third one. Last Roman. Last Roman. This is cool. And it'll be good if I can make another video after for something else to let this lot dry. That'll be good. It's good to see. I've seen some other people doing like little painting challenges and things, and they're coming on really well. To anybody that's doing a painting challenge, I might well be watching you, and keep up the good work because I'm enjoying the content you're putting out. I find it very enjoyable. Because if I can't paint myself, I enjoy watching other people paint. Sometimes I'll stumble across a tutorial and learn something, which is always good. Some channels, they're harder to find these days, so we get decent tutorials, but some channels have got some amazing tutorials on. Dr. Frost, I'm looking at you. Right, so that's the Romans done. King Theoden. I am going to paint his shield. Want all the bits inside. Want all the bits inside this colour. When I say all the bits inside, I mean all the gaps, because these are quite prominent. I can probably get away with dry brushing over the top. That is what I will do. There we go. Don't know about his helmet yet. I will leave that because the other one, the mounted version, does not have a helmet. So I don't know. I'll leave it for a minute. See. I mean, he could have picked it up off the battlefield, but I doubt it. In some respect, I should have had a mounted. I should have had a helmeted version of him on the horse. I just didn't like the look of it, though. You know. I recognise him as King Theoden without the helmet on, more than with the helmet on. So that's how I'm playing it. Oh, and there we go. Wow. Glasses off, I'm going to sneeze. Thanks ever so much for that. God. Looking back on it, got paint on 18 miniatures there, so that's pretty damn good. So thanks ever so much for watching. I hope your projects went well. Do let me know what you're working on down below, that's great. Or any other questions or comments you want to put to me. I'll probably answer them on P&Q, but yeah. And remember, all brushes are to all. I'll see you on another video, and bye for now. Bye bye.